Start off with a few press releases. The big one is going to be the Red Rock Inn. So this was last night. This began probably about 9 p.m. We had a guy that was in the parking lot with his dog. He was just giving his dog a walk. There was a Jeep Liberty that was parked in the parking lot. There was a guy that got out. The dog started barking. The guy that got out of the Jeep ended up pulling out a gun and shot it into the air. He went inside. There was a few people that left that Jeep, and then they went inside a room in the Red Rock Inn. The victim ended up telling staff, who called police. So police arrived. There was a little bit of a delay in the call. I'm not really sure why that took place, but anyway, we were called just before 9:30 p.m. So we knew which room the suspect walked into. We had officers that were setting up a perimeter to try to find the suspect. They ended up evacuating nearby rooms to try to keep everybody safe. About 9:50 p.m., we had two women that walked out of that room. Initially, they were just taken into custody for questioning. One of them ended up giving a fake name, so she was arrested for false impersonation. The other one was not charged with anything. One of them's 18, the other's 22. So once the evacuation took place, we ended up calling out SWAT, and this is really just a precautionary measure in cases where people have weapons. Along with SWAT, negotiators always go as well. So there was trying to get people out of the room. We knew there was people inside the room. About 11 p.m., a little after 11 p.m., we had a man that walked out of the room. He claimed to be the only one that was inside the room, but we knew that there was somebody else inside the room as well. When officers dealt with that guy, they found he had a gun in his pocket. He had a silencer in his pocket. The silencer didn't go to that handgun. It went to a rifle. He had a couple of bags of meth. One of them was 3.9 grams, and the other was 49 grams. He was arrested on quite a few different charges, and the SWAT officers were still there trying to get this guy out. It was around 3 a.m. They used some pepper spray or a form of pepper spray, and then the last person that was in the room came out, and this was the person that we believe is the shooter. He was charged with just the one count of aggravated assault. Throughout this investigation, a lot of obviously different moving parts to this thing, but then they ended up checking the vehicle that the people were in and found out that that was stolen, I believe, out of Minnesota. So I don't know that we have any charges necessarily on that stolen vehicle yet, but a lot of drug and gun charges. Let's go with some names. The first guy that was out of the room, his last name is Cota, C-O-T-A. First is Alexander, A-L-E-X-A-N-D-E-R. Middle is Luciano, L-U-C-I-A-N-O. And he's 22 from Sioux Falls. He had the most charges.
Was the shooter?
This was the first guy that came out of the room. He had distribution of controlled substance, maintaining a place where drugs are used, possession of controlled substance, paraphernalia, concealing a dangerous weapon with intent to commit a felony, possession of stolen property, possession of a controlled weapon, and harboring, basically, and because he knew that the other guy was in the room and said he wasn't in the room.
What is a control weapon?
That's the silencer. Sorry. You have to have the special permit from the ATF, and it was not registered to him, and we believe that was also stolen as well. The other guy that's our shooter, his last name is Ladeaux, L-A-D-E-A-U-X. First is Jericho, J-E-R-I-C-H-O. Middle is James, J-A-M-E-S. And he's 26 from Sioux Falls. And the woman, let's see, I think it was this one. just the one charge of false impersonation, but her last name is Neiman, Neiman. First is Autumn, Autumn. Middle is Michelle, Michelle. And she's 22, and it lists her as a transient from Sioux Falls.
What were the charges for Liddell?
He just had aggravated assault.
So, all this time, while the SWAT team is massing, they're in that room?
Yes.
Do they, are the cops negotiating with them, or they're just hanging out?
I guess I don't know what they're doing. I mean, that's one of the things that they're always trying to do when they're trying to get people out, and the whole goal behind using SWAT is to keep bystanders safe, to keep the officers safe, and then also keep the suspects, the people we're dealing with, safe. And so you come to a situation like that, and obviously they evacuated the room. That's the easiest way to keep people out of that area, to keep them safe. But then they're talking to the people, and they're trying to get them, convince them to come out of the room. And so that's where the negotiators come in, because they've got that training to do that. So it's a cooperation, and that's one of the reasons that negotiators always go when SWAT goes.
Well, that was my question, whether they were in contact with them.
I don't know if they were answering. They're always trying to get contact, to establish contact. So sometimes it's phone, sometimes it's just talking. But I don't know if they were answering or not.
Did you say how many rooms were evacuated?
That I don't know. I don't have information on that. I just know that there were several rooms that were evacuated.
What happened to the dog?
I don't know. Dog went with the owner. So, yeah, he shot the gun in the air. So it wasn't shot at the dog or pointed at the dog. So,
Everybody was just interested in the dog.
yeah, the dog's fine as far as I know.
This whole thing was sparked, as far as they know, by a barking dog.
Yep. Apparently he was upset the dog was barking.